everybody? I am Jay Shady, and you are listening to the voice of reason. So it's time to review Raw. And this is getting boring. This is getting really just monotonous, this shit. But I'm doing this for you guys. I'm going to try as hell to stick around to WrestleMania 30. Don't know if I'm going to make it. As you can already tell from my opening lines, I thought this show sucked. It was horrible. I mean, you had some good stuff here and there, but this is just getting way too boring. I mean, this is god-awful. It straight up is. I mean, I know I said that CM Punk needs time off, and it's good for him to get time off, but to be honest, without CM Punk, this show is just... There's nothing to watch on this show. It is getting really bad. I mean, I know we say this a lot. We do this. This is the worst that it's ever been, but I just cannot remember, as a fan, being this uninterested in one of my favorite things to watch, which is wrestling, WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it. This show is just so boring to watch, and most of the time these days I'm just channel surfing, like in between this bullshit. Let me kick it off by saying the crowd was in London. I didn't look at spoilers. I don't want to, be spoiled. If I look at spoilers, it's just going to make me not want to watch the show. So I didn't look at spoilers. But the crowd, it was a good crowd, but it was nowhere near like the New Jersey crowd the night after WrestleMania. Now, I don't know, that might be because WWE messed with the audio mic with the crowd, being that this was taped. This wasn't taped live. This was taped earlier in the day, so they had time to do their pumped-in crowd work to take away some crowd chants if they want to. And they do this with SmackDown, so they probably did this here. So this might not have been the actual crowd reaction that was there live. So the show starts off with Paul Heyman coming out. Paul Heyman gets on the mic. He's representing Brock Lesnar. He talks about how Triple H was supposed to come out tonight and address the challenge of facing Brock at Extreme Rules, but Paul Heyman says Triple H sent him an email that said Triple H would not be able to appear to the show that night. But a couple seconds after he says that, Triple H's music hits. Paul Heyman's all shocked that Triple H is there. Triple H comes in, gets on the mic, and says that he lied to Paul Heyman, and says that he accepts Brock Lesnar's challenge and he will face him Extreme Rules. Then pedigrees Paul Heyman. End of segment. I thought that was a good opener. It was like 5-6 minutes. Not too long. Usually with Triple H segments, they go on for like 30 fucking minutes. This one was right to the point. Something you don't get in this day and age. Just straight to the point segments. So I thought this was an effective opener. Wasn't boring. I wish I could care about watching this match. I don't. But, for it being like, really good on time, not taking a bunch of time, I can't really complain about this opener. Then this is where everything starts going fucking haywire. You get R-Truth versus Antonio Cesaro. It's just amazing, like, the way WWE could just get away with this bullying shit. Don't be a bully, be a star, people. The way they're bullying Cesaro is just insane. If you don't think that Cesaro has backstage heat, that he's in the doghouse for complaining that he's not on the WrestleMania card, please justify why he loses to Kofi Kingston in a title match last week, then loses to R-Truth in like a 2-minute match tonight. This was ridiculous. He loses to R-Truth with a botched finish. R-Truth botches his finisher, yet this is the guy I'm supposed to believe is, worthy enough of being Antonio Cesaro, a past United States champion. This is just ridiculous. This really is. This fucking shit that WWE does to their own talent. Whenever their talent oversteps their unwritten rules or their unwritten laws, like with Alex Riley and Kenny from the Spirit Squad, you're not allowed to do shit backstage, or else, they're going to intentionally ruin your career. How is this not bullying, I mean, and it doesn't make sense to me because they're ruining their own future, I mean, Antonio Cesaro is their future. It's one of their future talents, as with other people that are their future talents. And they're just burying their own future. Why? To fucking, be able to, stroke your cock and, be all fucking powerful and shit, to bully around, boss around some young guys. But you're ruining the credibility of the people who will carry your company in the future. So how does this make sense? What is wrong with Antonio Cesaro voicing his opinion. Why should a United States champion not be on the card of WrestleMania? Why should people like Fandango and Biggie Langston get to debut at WrestleMania, but champions can't have a match on WrestleMania? Fuck WWE and fuck their bullying. Our truth wins. Fucking ridiculous. And during this match, the crowd is, being a London, UK crowd, smart mark type crowd. And I just cannot stand when they do this. And Jerry Lawler always says, we're in a bizarro world today. This is a bizarro crowd. Whenever the crowd isn't cheering for generic faces and booing generic heels, all of a sudden it's a bizarro crowd. Something's wrong with the crowd. It's topsy-turvy. The crowd is all weird. Maybe the crowd is actually fucking smart and they want to cheer for what they want to cheer for, not what you're shoving down their fucking throats. Fuck that bizarro crowd line that they always do whenever they go to Canada or New York or fucking the United Kingdom. Then you get Brodus Clay versus Damien Sandow. I just do not believe that they have, real good talent like Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes in a feud like this. And this feud, it has, build up to it, It's not just that they're having one-off matches. I mean, this feud has been going on for a month now. I mean, where are you going with this shit? What is WWE trying to achieve at this point? I don't understand what they're doing with their young talent. The people, I feel so bad for you, the people that are watching that are so excited for their young talent and their new roster and for the future of the company. You have to sit through the way that they just buried they don't know what the fuck to do. When somebody new comes into their roster, they really don't. They do not know how to create stars. Are you really going to create a star by having a new guy feud with some fucking dancing hippos? No. This fucking match was a bunch of bullshit. Damien Sandow wins with a roll-up or some shit. Who the fuck cares? Then you get Ziggler and AJ backstage. They're making out and shit. Vicky Guerrero comes in and says that Ziggler's match with Jericho tonight, if Jericho wins, he'll be included in the title match at Extreme Rules, so it would be a fatal four-way. So you get that announcement. Then you get a Shield promo. They're talking about how they're going to take down The Undertaker, and Undertaker's going to see what justice means. One thing with the Shield, I just do not understand the meaning of the Shield and their mission statement, what they're doing. They're saying that they're, saving people from justice and correcting all the injustices, but I don't understand what injustice that The Undertaker has done. Maybe he's created the injustice of not letting people beat him at WrestleMania. I don't understand what justice they're correcting here. Their mission statement just doesn't make sense anymore. I think this team, while I will say that the booking of them with wins and losses, that is great, but they really need to focus here because this justice stuff just does not make sense anymore when they're targeting random people. That it doesn't make sense about this justice shit anymore. Then you get Chris Jericho versus Dolph Ziggler. I was expecting a better match. I'm going to be honest. This wasn't that good of a match. It was okay. It took a long time to get going. It was really boring the first 3/4 of this match. Very botchy too. A lot of botches. But in the last quarter, it picks up. It gets good. It makes out to be an okay match. But I thought this was going to be much better. It ends with Chris Jericho's got the Walls of Jericho on Ziggler, and then Fandango's music hits and it starts distracting Chris Jericho. Ziggler gets the zigzag, I think, of Chris Jericho and beats Jericho, so Jericho isn't in the title picture at Extreme Rules. This was a okay match. Could have been a lot better. Then you get Sweet Tea versus fucking Cody Rhodes. Not only is it enough to have these fucking hippo goofballs in one portion of the show, but two portions. It's really getting hard to defend. I'm not even defending WWE for you. Before WWE defenders, how hard is this shit getting to defend this shit? How could you defend seeing fucking Fat Tensai in fucking his fucking underwear and Brodus Clay dancing around like a dinosaur for fucking 30 minutes? That's what this whole shit takes up. About 30 minutes of this shit. This Sweet Tea versus Cody wasn't better than the fucking Sandow and Brodus Clay match. It was just as bad. Fucking horrible. Sweet Tea wins with some fucking backsplash that he does. It's fucking just insane how an Intercontinental Champion, a former Intercontinental Champion like Cody Rhodes, is jobbing to a fucking goofball like Tensai, Fat Albert, who's fucking dancing, doing a fucking shovel dance. I don't know what to say about this anymore. Then you get your fucking match saver of the night. The only fucking redeeming thing on this fucking show. Oh, not yet. I'm sorry. I'm fucking skipping ahead. You get a segment. Team Hell No. They're talking about the match later on. I thought this was a great segment. This was like better than 9/10 of the show. This fucking segment. Daniel Bryan's talking to Kane their strategy for facing the Shield. He's asking Kane if he could get the Undertaker on his cell phone. Kane's like, I don't think that Undertaker uses cell phones. Daniel Bryan's like, Undertaker has to listen to my strategy, and he's drawing. He's like, I got diagrams. I thought it was a very funny segment. Fucking diagrams, funny shit. Then I guess the Shield, or it looked like two people in the Shield's clothes. It didn't show the upper body, but it showed two people in black beating up Team Hell No. You know, is this another two people? Because if you think it's the Shield, it's usually three people, but here we see two people. It probably is the Shield. WWE is just fucking lazy to show their fucking upper body or something. I don't know. Then you get a Ryback promo. Early in the night, you had Mick Foley talking about the Ryback Cena picture. Then Ryback's, calling out Mick Foley later in the night, whatever. Then you get a Big E versus Zack Ryder. This is just a fucking squash match. I don't know what happened to Zack Ryder's gel. Maybe somebody stole his gel or something. But what was going on with Zack Ryder's hair? Didn't look too spiked. Lost his Guido points, according to me. A squash match. Big E being stupid as fuck. His dumbass faces just pissed me the fuck off. Always doing the fucking tongue shit. I mean, what is that shit? Seriously, how could I get invested in a character that's constantly going... That's not cool. It's not badass. It doesn't make me say, yeah, I'm going to relate to this guy. Making dumbass sounds every time he's on offense. That's not fucking cool. Big E Langston is not cutting it. Get this guy off of my TV now. Big E squashes Zack Ryder. Nobody gives a shit. Now, we get to the match saver of the night. Undertaker comes out. It's questionable whether Team Hell No is going to recuperate from the backstage beatdown, but they do, and we get the match. Taker versus Shield. This is the first time in a long time on Raw that I could think of where we got a unique match, a different match that just was something new, something fresh. With all these matches that are rematch and rematch and rematch, finally we get something fresh, and this is going to probably be the only time for a long time that we're going to get a really fresh, entertaining, new Raw match. So I like this match a lot. Match of the night easily. I think this was the Shield's second best match right after their debut match at TLC. Thought that one was a little better, but this was a great match. Great Raw match. This went on for a long time. When Daniel Bryan was in there, fucking awesome. When Undertaker was in there, fucking awesome. At the end with Kane, it was good too. When I like the stuff with Rollins and Bryan, Ambrose and Taker was great. And this was just a really good match. One thing I will say is I wish that it ended with a clean, like a obvious finish. It ends with Daniel Bryan going for the fucking headbutt, the diving headbutt from Chris Benoit. He misses it on Dean Ambrose, and Dean Ambrose just rolls him up 1, 2, 3. I would have liked to see it end with Dean Ambrose, rolling out of the way from the headbutt, hitting a finisher, then getting the 1, 2, 3. But, just a small gripe right there. But besides that, really great match. And finally, WWE realizes how to utilize a legend. You don't utilize a legend to face another legend in fucking 5 rematches. You utilize them to work with new talent and put over new talent. The Shield can now say that they beat The Undertaker in a match, and it makes The Undertaker's legacy look good because The Undertaker did not get pinned. The right guy here got pinned, Daniel Bryan. So the Shield can now say they beat a team that had The Undertaker in it. I'm very surprised with the way that WWE is booking the Shield. Wish that they could give them some better direction with their mission statement and their objective though. But can't complain about this match. Finally, WWE uses a legend in the right way. Hats off to Taker for actually showing up to Raw and having a Raw match. Can't say that about the other legends. Then you get Fandango versus William Regal. They had to trot out William Regal since it was in the UK. This is just a squash match, Fandango's making a lot of gay gestures in this match. Sorry for being politically incorrect, but it looked pretty gay to me, the shit that he was doing. Then he does some like tango type fucking finishing move. I don't know what it's called. I mean, they'll probably call it like Fandangoing or something. I don't know. Beats William Regal in a squash match. Then Chris Jericho beats him up by the entrance ramp. It wasn't even that cool of a beatdown. He just throws him off of the fucking entrance ramp, off of the leveling, the stage area. It wasn't nothing to talk about. He does a little twist with Fandango's partner, his chick partner, harkening back to his Dancing with the Stars stuff. I didn't really care for it. Then you get some Divas bullshit. I don't care, don't give a fuck. Divas fought, something happened. Then you get a fucking trailer. Brodus Clay is in a new movie, WWE Films, you know? This is like the 6th fucking movie that WWE has come out within the past 2 months, you know? Usually when you're making movies, doesn't it take like time in between to make movies? If you want to make a good movie, don't you have to like dedicate a certain amount of time to each movie? That's why you have like directors coming out with one movie every 2 years or something. But this company is just rushing like 6 movies together in the span of like 3 fucking months. And this movie has fucking Brodus Clay in. I mean, oh god, I mean, what the fuck happened to my WWF? The shit that I used to watch. I mean, they're promoting movies more than their own fucking wrestling in this day and age. Then you get the fucking closing segment. Mick Foley comes out. He's calls out Ryback. Ryback comes out. Then Mick Foley does a good part of the promo on his part. Mick Foley did good. He was talking about how time and time again he got his ass handed to him. Nobody was ever there to save him. But Mick Foley always got up and, as he was the best that he could be and the best that he could be, won 3 championships. He never relied on anybody's help. He got his fucking teeth knocked out, his ear ripped apart, and he always got up and he never complained the way Ryback is complaining about John Cena not saving him. Then Ryback gets on the mic, and I just do not understand. In the span of 2 weeks, WWE has managed to totally destroy Ryback's heel character. Why is this man given a mic? I do not understand. Is it fucking rocket science to realize that Ryback cannot talk on a mic? It's not hard to realize this. I think any of Ryback's most avid fans could say that Ryback on the mic sucks. He sounds like he can't even fucking breathe. Sounds like he's juiced up on steroids. It's hard for him to get sentences out. You can't even hear half the words he's saying. He sounds like a Neanderthal. He doesn't sound like a developed human being in the head. Yet they consistently give Ryback the mic, especially after the heel turn, when he should just be tearing house, beating the shit out of John Cena backstage, outside the arena, all over the place. Yet every segment with Ryback has consisted of the man holding a mic. Way to just destroy the steam of Ryback's heel character right there. One thing that pissed me off about this promo was, again, they had to fucking hide John Cena behind a legend. They tried out Mick Foley there in order to try to brainwash the fans to cheer for John Cena. And they do this all the time. They've done this with Bret Hart so many times. Shawn Michaels, just legend after legend after legend, just putting over this fucking cheap-ass wrestler, this cheap-ass entertainer, John Cena, this fake fucking champion. Mick Foley, he's just called in, oh, could you come to Raw tonight so you can put over John Cena, this way the crowd will cheer for him? Because it's like, if we are booing Cena, that means we're booing what Foley believes. We're booing Foley by booing Cena. This is the brainwash shit that WWE does week after week after week. I don't understand. Could you imagine Austin, Rock, Hogan, Michaels, Hart, previous faces of the company, having to rely on other people in order to get over? Usually that's saved for like mid-carders or some shit, but your face of the company has to rely on other people so he's not booed out of the fucking arena. It's just pathetic. It really is. John Cena comes out, his fucking dumbass comes out, tells Mick Foley to get out of the ring. He's like Mick Foley's little bodyguard or some shit. Give me a fucking break with that shit, please. John Cena comes out. Then the Shield comes down the ring. John Cena leaves the ring. It looks like he's gonna leave the Shield to take care of Ryback. He's not gonna defend Ryback. Stop fucking ringing. Like he's gonna steal a page out of last week's book with Ryback, so it's like, oh, John Cena's finally doing something heelish, you know? He's finally turning his back on somebody. But lo and behold, John Cena, the fucking Boy Scout Superman that he is, comes in and saves Ryback. You know, this is just total bullshit. This is why fans cannot get behind John Cena. This is why he is a phony. If I got my ass kicked and somebody who could have helped me didn't have my ass, didn't have my back to help me out, you can best fucking believe that I am going to leave them with the Sharks and turn my back on them whenever I had the chance. Why the hell would anybody who got left high and dry help out the person who left them high and dry in the first place? Only this Boy Scout, only this fucking phony fucking superhero poster boy John Cena does that shit. This is why nobody can like John Cena. This is why nobody can believe in John Cena's ideals. This is from fantasy movies. This is a comic book character. This isn't a real life person. But it doesn't matter to WWE because they're not trying to depict real life characters. They're trying to depict cartoon characters. They're appealing towards 4-year-olds. So it doesn't matter how foolish this shit looks. John Cena helps out Ryback, that does the AA to Ryback. It's just sad that, 7 years later, after 2005, 2006, 7-8 years later, Raw is still ending with the image of John Cena standing tall over everybody. Why? Why am I still watching the same ending to the show that I've been seeing for the past 8 years? I want to know, when is enough enough? We're like 2-3 weeks into John Cena's title reign and I already can't fucking take it. I'm already losing my fucking mind because this is what this guy does. He alienates the hardcore, the passionate fans like myself, and time again, he drives us away. He's driven me away before, and he's going to do it again. I'm telling you, I cannot take this Cena mania much longer, especially when you're surrounded by all this bullshit going on with tons of funk and fucking people getting buried and all this bullshit happening. These days on Raw, it just feels like it's your opening segment, filler, replays, your 1 hour main event, replays, filler, your 2nd hour main event, replays, filler, and your closing segment. That's all it is on Raw these days. That's at least back then when John Cena was reigning supreme. You had Triple H in his prime, you had Shawn Michaels there, RVD, Edge. You had all this stuff. But now you don't. You don't even have CM Punk to save you now. So there you go. There's my Raw review. If it wasn't for the Taker match with the Shield, this would be a fucking one of the worst Raws I could remember. But that match did help this show out a lot. But even with that match, this show still sucked. Nothing to see here, nothing to talk about. Just watch the Taker match and the Shield match if you didn't watch Raw. Fucking thumbs down. This company is so stale right now. My interest is at a low point. It has never been so low as it is right now. I have nothing to talk about. I'm not passionate about this shit anymore. I am Jay Shady, the voice of reason. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.